You hear so many people in the online business world talk about how there are levels to the game. And for such a long time, I didn't really understand this or didn't really believe that that was a thing. And it's only really been in the last sort of, I would say 3 to 6 months where my perspective on this has actually shifted after hearing a quote from a recent mentor of mine. Now, that quote was, if you don't yet have the business you want, it's because you haven't become the person who can run it yet. Now, when I first heard this, I didn't take it on board. I was like, nah, I don't need to hear some woo-woo quote. Give me the funnel, give me the strategy, give me the tactic, give me the how on how I can get to this next level that I want to get to. And it's funny because I've had this mindset for a very long time, basically since I started business. Like, I was always convinced that I needed the latest sales funnel or marketing strategy or tactic or hack or whatever it might have been to help me go from this level to this level. And I wasn't even looking at it at levels at that point. I was just looking at it as growth. And a really good way of looking at this, or something to consider here, is that let's say you're earning 5 figures a year. You're on 50, 60, 70, 80, $90,000 a year, whatever it might be. That income that you are currently making inside of your coaching business, well, the skill sets, the mindsets, the habits, and the routines that you have right now, well, that is supporting that income level that you have. But then consider this on top of that is if you want to get to say 6 figures, whatever the number might be, there's a pretty good chance you're not there right now because you don't have the habits, the mindsets, the routines. You're not at that level yet to command that amount of money. You haven't become the person who can run that type of business just yet. And so if you think about it, like if you're walking around with those 5-figure skill sets, then how do you expect to earn 6 or 7 figures? You won't. It's literally as simple as that. And like, don't get me wrong, you do need strategies, you do need tactics, you do need funnels and all of those bits and pieces that we convince ourselves and everyone in the high ticket world convinces us that we need. Don't get me wrong, you do need those, but they aren't the whole equation. Because if you don't become the person who can run your business at that next level, then you're going to have a very hard time reaching those next levels. And so like a really easy way for you to wrap your brain around this and to understand this is like, just think about someone that's heavily overweight. That person that's overweight, well, they are acting like an overweight person. Their habits are supporting it. Their sleeping routines are supporting it. The way they eat is supporting it. The way they exercise is supporting it, or should we say lack of. All of these things that this overweight person is doing, well, that's supporting them to be overweight. It's the habits, the routines, and the mindsets that are influencing this person to be overweight. But like, what if this person wanted to lose weight? I mean, yeah, sure, you could preach till the cows come home about, oh, they need to be in a calorie deficit and they need to do cardio and lift weights and steps and whatever it might be. You could preach till the cows come home on all of that, don't get me wrong. And that person, they might get the weight off short term, but I can guarantee you long term, they will struggle to keep the weight off. Because this person, they haven't focused on shifting their identity. They haven't focused on becoming somebody that's not overweight. And if you bring this back to business and think about it, like reaching new levels is not about acquiring, it's actually about becoming. For the overweight person, all they need to do is literally just start acting like someone that's in shape. They need to eat like a healthy person would. They need to work out like a healthy person would. They need to sleep like a healthy person would. They need to behave and think like the healthy person would. You can see where I'm going with this, right? So let's relate this back to you and your business. If you're a coach and you're wanting to transition online from in-person to online, well, obviously you haven't made that jump just yet because yeah, sure, maybe you may not have the strategy or the tactic, but at the same time, you definitely lack skill sets. You lack habits, you lack mindsets, you lack routines, you lack the discipline. You lack whatever is holding you back from getting to that next level. Otherwise, there's a pretty good chance you would already be there. It's the same thing if you want to go from $2,000 a month to, let's say, $10,000 a month in your coaching business. Well, if you keep reaching this glass ceiling and you can't get to that next level, then instead of focusing on the how, we need to start focusing on the who. Who do you have to become to get to $10,000 a month as a coach? So a really good way to work out that process of getting to the next level is just look closely at the people who are already at that level you want to be, or who have been through that level before. Look at their habits, look at their routines, look at the skill sets they have, look at the position that they're in. What don't you have that they have? or what aren't you doing that they are doing? Then all you have to do, like, it's so crazy to think how simple this is, but like people will overlook this for the how. It's like you just need to start acting like that person who is at that level that you want to get to, and go figure, like, it's crazy, you'll start to get those results at that next level. So like, long story short, instead of focusing so much on the how, focus more so on the who. Who do you have to become to get to that next level? And if you are genuinely stuck on this and you've looked at your competitors, or you've looked at the people that are at levels above you where you ultimately want to get to, but you can't seem to work out what they're doing, well, this is where you then need to pay a mentor, or you need to pay to join a mastermind, or get some sort of help from somebody who has either been through those levels before where you want to get to, or someone that's at that level above you right now. They can help you look down back at where you're at and say, hey, well, look, you're not doing this, you're missing this, you don't have this skill set, you're missing this mindset. If you get all these things in place, that's what's going to help you get to that next level. So as we wrap this video up here, the biggest thing that you need to consider as we do start to progress into 2024 is, instead of focusing so much on the how, I really recommend that you focus on the who. Now, I hope you got a lot of value from this video today. I look forward to seeing you inside of the next one, and take care.